If we wish to be truly innovative in developing new communication technologies, we must first understand the history of books and why readers think the way they do. We learn to read from books. To phrase it another way, books teach us how to read. And I would argue in teaching us how to read, books also teach us how to think. One of the first things books teach us in the Western culture is that books for children look like this. But the books we should aspire to read, grown-up books, look like this. This is where my research starts. Why does a book look like this? What does this particular form of the book encourage us to believe about the act of reading, the act of writing? And how are these beliefs being challenged or perpetuated as we increasingly rely upon electronic text instead of the printed page? To answer these questions, one has to turn to history and look at the development of the book as a communications technology. When one does that, it becomes clear that our modern ideas of a book, what it is, what it could be, have been formed over at least 1,000 years of innovation, of debate, of change, perhaps most surprisingly, of the people making and reading books insisting they stay exactly the same. Given the nearly 700 years between these two texts, wouldn't you expect there to be more difference in their visual form? The humanists of the Italian Renaissance wanted a new form of the book, one that was clean and clear and allowed them to converse with the glorious dead, free from the distractions of medieval manuscripts. The first printed books looked just like manuscripts because that's what people were used to reading. From this point onward, the evolution of the visual design of books shifts slightly as technologies and politics shift. But whenever a change goes beyond the unnoticeable, it is quickly refuted by readers who desire their books to not get between them and their authors. Books, and those that make them, have taught us to think that when we read, we are looking through a window into the mind of the author, and that the highest praise for a book is it doesn't get in the way of reading. This was true in the 15th century, and it's true now. If we want to design new books that people will actually read, we first need to look to the past and see how books have taught us how to think.